Looking back at these last 10 weeks, me and the Heartland Center for Leadership team, we were able to work on a very big project. Specifically, our project focused on community resiliency, and the main goal of our project was to gather as much information about the issue of attraction and retention of residents in rural Nebraskan communities as we can. I conducted a literature review around the issue as a way of compiling secondary information to kind of have a generalized, bigger picture of which factors affect attraction and retention of residents. On top of that, with the help of the Heartland Center for Leadership team, I developed an interview protocol which was based on to interview multiple leaders about this issue. We had to go the extra mile to gather primary information from rural Nebraskan leaders, active members of the community, business owners, and new members of these communities to understand everyone's perspective about what should be done or what is being done to attract or retain people in their communities. So gathering information has been such an easy going work for me because every participant in the interview was invested in providing as much insights as they can to help our research. So I found this work very helpful, and it went very easy on my end.
The Heartland Center for Leadership Development has had a history of doing case study research of successes in small towns and rural communities, and then figuring out how those successes might be replicated in other communities. We work as advisors to communities, or mentors or coaches to community leaders. This project gave us an opportunity to do something we've been talking about for a long time, but haven't had time on our own to get it done. And that is to do a literature review on community resiliency, especially with respect to things like the pandemic, natural disasters, maybe dramatic change in a community from an economic development or leadership perspective, to find out how communities work through those challenges and build resiliency and sustainability to continue to grow and develop in any case. And what we're looking for are lessons from the literature review and the interviews that are being conducted that we can share with other communities, and possibly even put into a grant proposal to enable us to expand this kind of work. Well, what we're looking for are, clues to how to help communities develop their own and implement their own strategies to deal with obstacles, hurdles, or other kinds of issues they may face from a resiliency perspective. We want communities to be able to hone, expand these kinds of capacities so that on their own they can tackle challenges that come their way and work through them in a productive manner, so that they don't just get stopped in their tracks, but rather can figure out how to keep on the pathway to success.
I find this work important to the future of the community because the information we gathered from the literature review and the one-on-one interviews we had will contribute on helping the Heartland Center to understand better ways they can assist rural communities and rural Nebraskan communities thrive in areas of attracting and retaining residents. This work will also be used to develop strategic solutions to challenges that rural communities face while navigating this issue. And looking at the bigger picture, this work will also serve as a basis of evidence, as the Heartland Center team will use it to apply for a federal grant. This will contribute to further large-scale development of rural Nebraskan communities, with attraction and retention of residents being the main priority. But I had multiple occasions to meet my supervisors in person. We could meet for check-in meetings, to catch up on our work, and to plan for the remaining time. So I learned a lot working alongside the Heartland Center team, and I learned a lot of skills, including leadership skills, organization skills, planning, interviewing, and many more professional ethics and protocols as we were navigating our project. So as an inclusive leader, I gained further understanding that one should never underestimate the power of synergy, or as I put it, the power of working together, bringing your efforts, my efforts, and putting everything together so we can work towards a common goal. So we were able to achieve our project because everyone in our team contributed their part with determination and enthusiasm. And it is this collective effort that made our work possible.
So we were working virtually and in person this summer in Lincoln, and Japhet was helping us learn more about community resiliency. He was able to do a great literature review and identify common themes and important points, and he worked with us to develop interview questions that followed up on that lit review, and he's been learning from community leaders about what they think about resiliency, what are their opportunities, what are their possibilities, and what are their challenges. So we're going to have some really great information at the end of this project, because we have the lit review, and we also will have the information from interviews. And we're going to use that in a couple of different ways. First of all, we're going to use it to inform some of our programming with communities around how do they attract and retain residents. But we're also going to use it to develop a USDA AFRI grant, because what we want to do is take this information and use it to create some model programming, test that model programming, and then measure success to see if we can work with communities to make a difference in resiliency.
Conclusively, I pass my appreciation to the Rural Fellows program for giving me this opportunity, and very big thanks to the Heartland Center for Leadership Development team, and that is Mylan Wall, Craig Schroeder, and Mary Emery, for trusting me and guiding me throughout this entire internship experience. And I look forward to applying the skills that I acquired from this whole experience to develop myself in my career, and to develop myself as a leader. And I look forward to passing the skills that I learned to the rest of the community and the rest of the people that I'll be working with. Thank you.